Welcome to Programming and Problem Solving using Python. This is Rishikesh. In this session, we are going to talk about the identity operators in Python, and also we are going to see what is modulus operator and string operator in Python. So let us start with identity operator. There are two identity operator. First one is and the second one is not. Is not is basically the negation of is operator. These operators are used to check the identity of location of data. Now, what it means, let's actually understand using the Python shell. So, suppose we have a list. We know that in Python we have a concept of list, tuple, and dictionary. Let us say we have a list. I am naming it as LST. Then how we create list, we simply use these square brackets, and within these square brackets we assign some values. So 10, 20, 30 and 50. Okay, now I am creating another list, name it as lst2, and again I am giving some values. This time I am giving the same values, 10, 20, 30, 50. Okay, so suppose we want to check the identity between LST and LST2. So how can we do that? You can see that all the elements in LST and LST2 are same. By observation, we can say that these both lists are equal. Let us check with this print statement. So we can write LST is LST2. Okay, now if these two lists are identical, then it should return the true output. Let us hit the enter, and we got the false output. Now let us understand how this happened, that both the lists are identical in observation, but we got output as false if we using the identity operator elst is elst2. So basically here we have created two different variables, okay, two different identifiers. Now the values are same, but the location of those values is different. So here you can see that it is used to check the identity of location of data. So we don't check actually what is the data inside that particular variables, we check the location of that data. Suppose I have another list, let us name it as lst3, and now I am assigning the value of lst3 as lst. Okay, now lst3 is equal to lst, that is the value of lst. Whatever the value in lst, now it is stored in lst3. Okay, and now if we print lst3 is lst, then it should return true, because now in this case the location is identical for lst3 and lst. Whatever the data stored in lst and lst3, the location of that data is identical, so it is giving the output as true. In the same way we can use is not operator. So if we print lst3 is not lst2, okay, so this is not the identical. So lst3 and lst2 are not identical, so it should return the true output, and indeed it returns the true output. Okay, so this is how the identity operators in Python works. Now let us understand the modulus operator and string operator. We already know the modulus operator and so string operator in our string literal session, so we are already familiar with these two operators, but let's revise them. So modulus operator is used for getting the remainder, as we know. Suppose we have an example that 11 modulo operator and then 2, so it should give the remainder as 1. because by dividing 11 by 2, 2 5s are 10, we get the remainder 1. Now in strings, this addition operator, that is plus operator, can be used for concatenation of two or more strings in operand. Suppose we have two or more strings as operands, then we can use this operator among them to concatenate those strings. So let us understand this in Python shell. Suppose we have a variable name. Okay, so here I am typing Rahul. Okay, and another variable surname. In this surname I am going to type Sag. Okay, so this is the name, and let us assume that this is the surname. Rahul is the name and surname is Sagar. Now if we want to print the concatenation of name and surname, then now we can use this plus operator. So let us say name plus surname. Okay, so using this plus operator, now we can concatenate name and surname. So we should get Rahul and Sagar. Okay, so we get here Rahul Sagar. Now one thing to notice here is that Python don't add space by default, because space is also considered as a string. Okay, so let us say if we give some space after Rahul here, suppose we have a name again, and now we are giving some space after Rahul. Here you can see that I have given some space. Okay, now after running the same command, we are concatenating name and surname again. Here you can see that now we got some space between Rahul and Sagar. That's because we manually add that space after Rahul. So this thing we have to keep in mind, that Python don't add any extra space. Space is also considered as a string in Python. And the second operator in string is this multiplication operator. So it is used in between string and a numerical value. So for using this operator, multiplication operator, we should have a operand, one operand as string and another operand as numerical value. So let us understand here using some example. Suppose we have a operator, second operator num, and we are assigning the value 5. Okay, and the first operator, let us say we have the operator name. Now if we want to print multiplication, okay, so we can simply print like this: name then multiplied by num. Okay, so what it actually does, it multiplies that particular name 5 times. Okay, because we are assigning num as 5, so our name should be printed 5 times. Let us run this, and here you can see that Rahul, 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 we got Rahul 5 times. And you can also see that the space is added, because here in this particular line we had given some space after Rahul, so that is not by default space. So this is how the plus and multiplication operators in string works. So here are some string operators. We saw modulo operator, and we also saw identity operator. I hope you understood well how these operators work. Stay connected till the end of the course. Thank you.